Hello and welcome to Stress-Free Ways to Get More Sales. In this webinar, we'll look at how to get all the customers you'll ever want without using any pushy sales methods. Yes, I want you to experience what it can be like to run a business without the constant threat of getting no after no after no from your prospective customers. I want you to be able to avoid the stresses, avoid the loss of confidence and self-belief that's so often associated with sales for so many people. These stresses can not only have a negative impact on your business, but on you and your approach to life. My name is Peter Beckenham, the Village Marketer, and if you dislike sales, then stick with me, as this webinar will give you the skills to build your confidence, to change your mindset, and I'll teach you how you can have a stress-free, enjoyable, and profitable sales conversation. Hard to believe? Watch me. So if you're getting lots of no after no by prospective customers, or you just don't like selling and anything to do with selling, or you spend a lot of time giving free sessions and advice to people but got few if any customers as a result of it, or you're just sick and tired of just giving your time away, or you just don't want to face any more of those darn rejections, then you're in the right place at the right time. Because I'm about to give you a brand new way to get customers that you will truly love. And I'll give you the confidence to put this into action, as it's easy and absolutely non-threatening. So what's it all about? I'm talking about a discovery conversation. This is a conversation where you build the interests and the attention of your prospects as they discover, with your help, how to overcome any obstacles they have in the pursuit of their real desires. You're not selling anything, you are simply helping. Usually before people buy things from you, they want to talk with you. And it's this talking with you bit that probably concerns you, right? But don't worry. If you lack the confidence or self-belief or have a mindset that screams, "Oh, Peter, I hate selling," stay with me and I'll show you step by step how you can actually fall in love with sales. Now that's a big call, right? But stick with me. Yes, stay with me, because I know that if your conversations go well, you get the client and you'll get the sale. And if it doesn't go well, then no client and no sale. It's that darn simple. This is a non-salesy, inspirational way to build your customer base. We're not talking about traditional sales approach. There's no need to push and try to close the sale at any cost. Nothing like that. The traditional sales approach has a focus on closing techniques and a way to overcome objections, right? Well, with a discovery approach, instead you'll empower your prospect. It feels authentic, it shows caring, and it comes from deep, heartfelt desire to serve the prospect, not to sell the prospect. A significant difference, right? You are serving, not selling. So what's the difference between sales and discovery? Well, as I said before, sales is all about getting the sale. That's the bottom line. You need to achieve your sales targets. Now, I'm not saying that sales targets aren't important. All I am saying is that particular approach leaves many people high and dry, and truly they do not like that way of selling. A discovery conversation approach is all about getting people to get the results that they want. It's about getting your prospects to say yes to themselves as they get what they truly want. When you change your approach from sales to discovery, your conversations will take on a completely new stress-free approach, and the bottom line will change dramatically. Selling is done to people. Discovery is done for people. See the difference? So stop trying to use a process and words that feel awkward and uncomfortable to you. Here's a way to build your business without sacrificing your values and without being pushy at all. And no, you don't need any super slick sales scripts, nothing like that. You just have to be your authentic self and show genuine interest in your prospect. Get the word sales out of your mindset completely. You're there to help, to listen, to learn, and then to advise. That's all. So stop trying to use sales techniques and sales scripts that were not designed for you. Please don't do that. Remove all the stresses of sales thinking, and instead let the real, natural, relaxed you shine through as you go about serving your prospective customers in a deeper way. When you use the discovery conversation process, it will not just feel good to you, especially if you don't like selling, right? But also to the people that you are talking with, your prospective customers. They will love this as well. And they will sense the relaxed and enjoyable approach that you are providing to them. And when they sense that, they'll enjoy it even more. In the discovery approach, you'll be helping people to create new possibilities for themselves that they were unable to make or see for themselves. And I'll show you step by step how to do that in just a moment. The result will be no selling whatsoever, but you'll certainly get lots of sales. Now, if that's an awesome feeling, I can tell you it's something you can truly achieve and do it very easily. And by helping people to see possibilities they are unable to see for themselves, that is also an awesome feeling. And it's about as far away from traditional hardline sales experiences as you can get, right? I must tell you, you'll be helping people to create new possibilities for themselves that they were absolutely unable to make or see for themselves. Now, that is an awesome feeling. And it's about as far away from traditional hardline sales experiences as you can get, right? This is what the discovery approach is all about. I must tell you, when selling is done professionally using the non-threatening discovery method, neither you or the prospect are thinking selling. But sales happen with both of you, and your new customer experience the same win-win feeling. In other words, there's no selling taking place, but you sure are going to get lots of sales. Now, isn't that worth it? And by the way, when your customers say yes, they're not saying yes to you, but they're saying yes to changing their lives and their businesses in a major way. They're saying yes to themselves and what they truly want. So my objective today is to show you an easy way to get as many customers as you want and to remove once and for all that fear factor of rejection, of people saying no to you. Okay? So here's a simple formula for success. Having enough conversations with the right potential customers and turning these conversations into high-paying customers. That's the formula for success, right? Have enough conversations with the right potential customers and to turn those conversations into high-paying customers. It's not very complicated. That's what it's all about. In simple terms, if you want to survive in any business, you must be having conversations with your prospects. Whether you like sales or not, that's the bottom line. No conversations means no customers. So if you're not having any or enough conversations with prospective customers, then you'll be getting few, if any, sales. And to be quite frank with you, you're on your way out of business. My goal for you is to overcome this sales failure syndrome, this sales failure fear that you have, okay, and get you to understand and believe in yourself. And I'll show you how you can definitely talk to people in a non-threatening, stress-free way. And we're just about to show you exactly step by step how to do that. All I know is this: if you follow what I'm about to share with you right now, you can increase your income dramatically, okay, by using a stress-free discovery conversation. So here we go. This is the discovery conversation outline. Step 1, the welcome, the introduction, the rapport building. I mean, here there's no agenda. Just take time to adjust to each other, to get on the same page, and to get comfortable with each other. Just be pleasant, that's it, right? Then, step 2. Now, in step 2, once you've got comfortable with the prospect, then I recommend you show some leadership and direction. I mean, the specific words aren't important, but they'll go something like this. And if you want to, by all means, write them down, but then change them to suit your particular personality. But this is what I would normally say to a prospect in stage 2, in step 2, right? Here we go. So, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to do my very best to serve you over the next 60 minutes. I'll be asking you permission to ask you questions, and I'll be doing my very best to find out what's important to you, what may have been getting in your way, what could be your particular problems and hurdles, and what your desired destination would look like and feel like to you. And then at the end of that time, if we've had a good connection and we've enjoyed working with each other, and if I can see some ways I can support you, then I may offer to come back with a proposal about how we can work together in the future. Does that seem fair enough? Now, did you notice at the beginning I said, so here's how it's going to work. I provided leadership and instilled confidence into the prospect as you were showing that you've done this before. This allows them to relax with you. as they now know this is the process that they're going to go through with you. And to be quite frank, I've never had anybody object to this, as a prospect sees that you are taking the lead. And to be quite frank with you, many people silently are begging to be led. They like people to lead them. So as soon as you say, so here's how this is going to work, that communicates all of this to your potential customer, okay? And then when you say, I'll be doing my best to serve you over the next 60 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever time you've agreed upon, right? This clearly shows your purpose, and your purpose is to serve them, not to sell them. You'll be asking questions that we'll look at a little bit later in this presentation, but what you're really aiming to do is to get your prospect connected with something that really matters to them. Because at the end of the day, the only thing they're going to pay for are the results they want to achieve and the feelings they want to experience. This process I call closing the gap, and we'll talk about this very soon. And did you notice, by the way, when I said, assuming we've got a good connection and you've seen some value in what I do, and if I see some areas where I can support you, then I may, but I may not, right? I may offer to come back to you with a proposal for how we can work together going forward. Okay, notice I said may, okay, because I might not do that either. And you may not do it either. It depends on the person. It depends on whether in fact you've got the right prospect. But by saying this, this removes the whole notion of sales in the conversation, and it enables the prospect to relax and to really focus on the journey you're going to take them on, without having to worry about and start thinking, oh, when's the sales pitch coming? Because you've already told them. It may not happen. It depends on what happens at the end of the conversation. Then the final piece is when I said, does this seem fair enough? Remember that? Does this seem fair enough? Now you ask that question and then you wait. I mean, I've never had anyone say no, but you wait for the answer because it then gives you permission to proceed. Make sense? Then we get to step 3 in a discovery outline. This is doing your thing. Here's where you take your prospect on a journey of discovery called establishing the gap and closing the gap. That's all about finding out their hopes, their desires, their fears and their frustrations. I'll spell this out in detail for you very soon, but it's a critical part of the conversation where they experience what you do and how you do things. This is your opportunity to really connect with the person and to have an impact on them. Then when you've identified something that really matters to them, something they value extremely highly enough to make an investment in working with you and your solutions, then that's the point where you can start introducing your offers. But notice up until now I've mentioned nothing about what I offer, and neither should you. It's at this point when I typically pause and say something like, look, I've really enjoyed working with you. Would you like me to come back to you with some ideas about how we can work together going forward? I mean, you're simply asking permission to continue. There's no stress in this at all, and in fact they may well ask you about how can I have you help me, as they may want to get started with you immediately. Okay? Now step 4 in the discovery outline is the proposal. When making your proposal, there's always one thing you want to attend to, and it's this. If they say to you, look, I just have to think about this, then say this. All right, but just remind me once again what you want to get out of this. Now I'll share more about this later with you as we connect with them, but really what you need to do is get them to restate what their desired destination is. What are the results and the experiences they want? Okay, they've already shared it with you and you know what they are. Get them to remind themselves. That's the key. Now they may not have a budget for whatever you're offering, but I can tell you everyone is capable of getting so in touch with something that it's an inspiring possibility for them, and they will find the money, they will find a way, they will make the time, or they will make it a priority. If it's important enough, they will find the money. That takes us to step 5 in a discovery outline. That's the sign up. Now, until they've made a financial commitment via PayPal, via a bank transfer or a credit card payment, really all you've got up until then is just a nice conversation, right? So make it as easy as possible, because this is why you're in business, to make an impact on others and to get paid for the services you provide. Because once you do that, this allows you then to grow your business and impact on even more people. And then, of course, don't forget, once you've got the sign up, then it's up to you to deliver your services and solutions and make sure you deliver the impact to your new customer that you spoke about. Okay, that brings us to 3 important business numbers. Pretty simple, but very important. Number 1, the number of conversations you have. Number 2, the percent of conversations that turn into customers. And number 3, the fees, the prices that you charge. These 3 important numbers are very important to your business survival. When you can improve each of these, your business earnings literally can explode. However, there are some things that can destroy these numbers as well, and I want to look at the number 1 mistake that can destroy these numbers and will stop people saying yes to you. The number 1 costly mistake that many people make is not establishing enough value. If people are saying no to your offers, then this may be your challenge. People are not seeing and feeling the value they can get from working with you. You've not established enough value for them. I mean, this may be very brutal, but it's the truth. If you haven't shown them you can add value to them, then they're not going to share their money with you. It's that darn simple. It's got nothing to do with the type of offer you've got, but everything to do with getting them to achieve the result that they want. I mentioned earlier that when people say they want to think about it, you should remind them about their desired destination that they've shared with you, right? But really, what they're saying to you is when they say, let me think about it, they're really thinking, I'm not seeing the value. That's the critical bit, right? You need to be more than just being liked. You need to be more than just having a good connection and a good rapport with people. It's not enough to be good at what you do. It's not enough. In simple terms, you will not be accepted or get hired or your offers accepted at all unless you can clearly establish the value what your clients will get first. This is the key. You must establish the value of what your customers will get first, and then they must think and believe this as well. In other words, you need to establish the value you can provide without having to sell anything. So how can you create this value I'm talking about? I mean, it's pretty darn simple, but it's absolutely vital. You need to help them to clarify their desired destination. In other words, you take your prospects through a process that has them absolutely clear on what they want to achieve and have them super excited about getting what they want. I mean, I call it their desired destination, and you're just about to learn all about this awesome method. Getting them excited and involved at this stage is essential, because if you don't achieve this, then the chances of converting your prospects are very limited indeed. So let me take you through this powerful yet totally stress-free conversation method. The method I'm talking about is called closing the gap, and it works virtually every darn time. This is the key to turning your conversations into customers. When you follow this method, your prospects will be asking you about, how can you help me? How can we get started? Can you show me how we can work together? In other words, they'll be making the decision to buy rather than you making the decision to offer a proposal. If you get it right, this is what's going to happen. How would you feel if this happened to you in your conversations? Wouldn't it be a pleasant change? I'm sure it would. You see, when you close the gap for your prospects, you become a master of discovery conversations, and you'll increase the percentage of people who will say yes to working with you. When you close the gap, by the way, you also need to do less marketing. You need to have fewer conversations, and by the way, you'll get even more customers. So what is this gap I'm talking about? The gap is simply the distance between where your prospects are now and where they want to go, their desired destination. And establishing the gap is to allow your prospects to tangibly feel the gap between where they want to go and where they really want to be in the future and where they are right now. I mean, this is an incredibly simple yet powerful and profound concept. And when you get it and get it at its deepest level, it can have a profound impact on your prospect. Let me share with you, the more your prospects feel the gap, the more they will have the desire to want to close it. The higher their desire to close the gap, the higher the chance of them becoming a customer of yours to help them get to where they want to get to. It's really that simple. So to get them to truly see and feel the gap, firstly, you get them to share with you their desired destination. What does it mean to them? What's it all about? Record their words that they're telling you. This is where all their problems no longer exist. Okay? This is what your potential client truly wants and craves for, and encourage them to share as much detail as they can about this preferred desired destination. Spend quality time helping them to build this emotionally charged picture, okay? This is very, very important. And by the way, share your excitement with them about their dreams and their desires. Give them full permission to dream as big as they really want, so you can truly uncover their hidden desires and their goals. And by the way, they're more than likely hidden from them as well. So this conversation you're having with them could be the first time they've ever brought this to the surface. Then get your prospect to share with you their here and now. Where are they right now? What's their current situation all about? What are their pains, their anxieties, their fears, their challenges, their problems, their frustrations? Get them to share all of these with you. And it might take some prodding and poking with questions, but get it all out on the table. It's really important they share with you every possible pain and frustration they've got. And then you've got to make sure you understand what it's like for them. Okay? Listen carefully. Make sure you confirm and clarify what they're saying to you. Get their understanding clear in your head. Record the words they're saying to you. Share back with them the words they're sharing with you. And make sure your prospect can feel that you truly understand what it's like for them right now. For some prospects, it could be a situation they've been tolerating for such a long time. And they just want to be done with it all, right? I mean, your job here is to be a great listener with a compassionate ear. Listen to see and feel the frustrations, the pains, etc. that the prospect has. This is the part of the conversation that can often create an amazing connection between you and your prospect. You've gone from the highs of the desired destination to the lows of the pain points and challenges and fears and frustration the prospect is facing right now. This is an amazing conversation you're having and extremely valuable, because I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the prospect has never been taken down this path before, and the service you're providing is giving extraordinary value. The gap is emotional. Okay? This is the emotion that lets your prospects tangibly feel the distance between the two places, between where they want to be, their desired destination, and where they are now. If they can feel that distance, that is the key. Because when they can feel the distance, then you've successfully established the gap in your prospect's mind and thinking. And that is valuable. You have definitely provided value to them. And you've sold nothing to achieve this. Let me share with you, when the prospect becomes interested in closing the gap, then they become very interested in you and whatever engine or solution you may have to help them close their gap. Because of the discovery experience you've just delivered to them, you are now positioned as a trusted advisor, and your offers or your service packages will definitely be regarded very highly as a way to help them make the journey, okay, from where they are to where they want to go. You're in the right place at the right time, and you deserve to be, because you've given value. And by the way, if you've got testimonials from others who've used your services, this is an ideal time to share them as well, okay? But a word of caution. A mistake a lot of business owners make here is trying to sell their engine, trying to sell their solution. Do not do that. Sell the desired destination, not the solution. No one wants to buy your engine or your solution. So if you right now start showing how your offer actually works, then your chances of getting them as a new customer really plummet. You just destroy the value you've simply created to them. Right? Do not do that. Focus on their desired destination, not your solution. You see, it's not about what you do. It's about what they get. When you understand this process and you know the right questions to ask in the right sequence, then you will find adding new customers to be effortless and an extremely enjoyable, stress-free process. I can share this with you. Closing the gap is one of the most effective tools you can ever have for your business. And it's a great way to add value. And here's another way for you to add value in your conversation. It's a simple question, and if it's asked at the right time, it can be extremely powerful. Remember, I said to you before, if you do not add value, then people will start to question whether it's worth spending money with you, right? Adding value is the key. So if you use this question in your conversation, It will reinforce the value that you're already providing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want that you've just described to me? What you're talking about is the desired destination, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you really want what you've just described to me? How important is it to you? By asking this question, it reinforces the desire the prospect has for the what that you're able to help them with. When they answer, say, 9 or 10, and this is pretty common, right? It's proof that it was truly very important to them. This question also plays an important part later in the conversation if they may have some objections, which can and will happen, and don't worry about that. Okay, it'll happen naturally, so welcome them. Don't worry about that. So when a prospect gives a 9 or a 10 to how much they want what they just described to you, but then later they don't want to invest the time or money into resolving it, you simply point out very gently the obvious disconnect and have an open and honest conversation about it. And most times you can transform the objection into a wholehearted yes, right? I mean, if they truly want something and there's a 9 or 10 of value to them, but then they don't want to pay for it, it's their problem, not yours. And all you simply get them to do is to resolve in their mind the priority that they truly want. If it's a high priority, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you will get the yes. So if you've been holding off having more conversations with prospects because you didn't want to be perceived as a pushy person or a hard sell person or seen as bothering people anyway, now you know you can really establish value with them, like establishing the gap and closing the gap with your prospective customers, right? And this conversation is of the highest possible interest to your customers. There's no doubt about that. And in fact, it is probably the best way to offer your value. It's got everything to do with giving care and interest and nothing to do with hard selling. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is the best selling tool of all. By adding value without trying to sell anything is, I can tell you, the most effective marketing you'll ever do. Now don't forget, once the prospect has decided to work with you, you must deliver on the value and the benefits that you promised in your discovery conversation, right? This is critical if you want to keep the trust and if you want to keep the customer, obviously, right? Your interest, your care, and your enthusiasm are absolutely contagious. You can enter into these discovery conversations full of confidence now because you're not going to get no's, right? You're simply helping people to achieve their desired results. That's it. You're not selling a solution. You're simply getting them to understand where they are right now and where they want to be and how they can achieve it, all right? There's no need to put up with any old-fashioned stressful sales approach. Nothing like that at all, okay? You can avoid the negative impacts that all that stuff has on you and your career and your approach to life. Adopt this stress-free discovery conversation approach and truly enjoy your sales experiences. That's the message I'm trying to give you. Really enjoy the discovery conversations and watch what happens. Not only will your confidence and self-belief levels absolutely soar, but the more you enjoy the experiences with your prospective customers, the more your prospective customers will pick up on your interest, your involvement, and they'll also rate the experience even more highly. And the chances of them converting to you go through the roof. It's really that simple. By helping people in a genuine nature to identify what they need, what their problems are, you are positioning yourself as the trusted advisor. And that is a far cry from the hard, stressful sales approach. Make sense? Now, if you need more help, then I've got a couple of things for you, right? First of all, I've taken you as an overview through the stress-free discovery process, right? But if you actually want the words to say at every stage, then I've got a blueprint for you. It's called 10x Your Sales with No Pitching. 10x Your Sales with No Pitching. This is a PDF, this is blueprint, this is a free training for you, okay? You'll find a link to that free training underneath this webinar somewhere, right? 10x Your Sales with No Pitching. It'll give you all the words you need to use at every single stage of the discovery process, right? In addition to that, why not take up my invitation to have me solve your biggest marketing challenge? You'll find details about that at the end of the PDF blueprint. Both of these are genuine free offers. They're there for you. No longer do I want you to be worried and scared and petrified and have a hang up about selling. You can do this, you really can, and I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. If you follow what I'm trying to share with you now, I can tell you not only will you have great sales potential, but you will fall in love with sales. And that's something you probably thought you'd never do, right? Enjoy your selling in the future. Thank you for sharing the webinar with me. I look forward to talking to you again. All the very best. Bye for now.